There I was talking. No one could hear me. Scano, Sego, Ani, Boju, hello. Oh, and we have one more person coming in, so maybe this is why. Uh, Good evening. Thank you, everyone who will be joining us, who's joining us now, and maybe joining us a little later. Uh, this was a last minute time for us we decided to jump on and share some messages live and share some time together. It's a really moving, powerful week we're in, and so many people that we've talked to this week, we're all feeling the same shift. And so we have Grandmother Renee with us this evening, and our other sisters will be joining us, the Cedar Sisters. And so this evening we'll start. Jen's going to start with a song for us to bring our hearts and minds and spirits together in this time and moment together that, many of us feel called to be sitting in a circle. And we've come to know that these virtual circles carry just as much strength and power and knowledge as in person. So our intention is to have this circle open for anyone who'd like to join us this evening. So Nyawa for coming here, and Nyawa to you, Jen, for sharing this song, beautiful song in medicine.
Annie Bouchot, Jennifer Dijnakas, Mississauga Dunjaba, Nimki Kwe Dijnakas, Anishinaabe Kwe Nandao. And my family also comes from Outagamie First Nation, and I'm Scottish and French. My spirit name is Thunder Woman. And I live here on Treaty 19 territory, Mississaugas of the Credit. And today I'm going to sing a song that was originally done by the O'Damon Kwe singers, a group of women, Anishinaabe women. And I love that their name is O'Damon Kwe, Strawberry Women. And it's just finishing up our strawberry moon. And in my garden, the strawberries are almost ready. I've been watching them. One side is red, one side is still a little pink. So I'm waiting a bit longer. That's the patience that the strawberry asks of us. And so it's really exciting that the first berry is coming up. So this is a perfect song. And the song reminds us to connect to ourselves with all living things, no matter how big or small. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our no-comers. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our no-comers. We gotta know what they know. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our Mashomas. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our Mashomas. We gotta know what they know. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our children. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our children. We gotta know what they know. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the winged. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the winged. We gotta know what they know. We can raise each other up the swimmers. We gotta bend down low, we gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the swimmers. We gotta know what they know. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the crawlers. We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the crawlers. We gotta know what they know. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other up.
Wow. Thank you, Jen. That was so beautiful. Thank you for lighting the fire in our hearts. And I'm so grateful that we have the freedom now. We have the freedom to gather up and share our hearts. And those songs are very, very powerful because it talks about the most precious gift the Creator give us, and that is our heart. And so today I had called for a grandma put the word out. I need to speak to my kids. I need to speak to my people that are that are not being addressed, I guess you would say. And also for those that are overworked. So I'm going to bring my belt into this, and that is called the friendship belt. The friendship belt, you notice, this had one dark heart and one white heart. Well, this was a gift that our people made a long time ago to all those that were coming across the water and to find a new place that they would come to know as Turtle Island. In there, we were told by the peacemaker that there was going to become a time when there would be a lot of, as they say, the fire. The fire can come as a fire of love, or it can come as a fire of destruction. But we would wait and we would see what kind of fire it would be. And because we were taught the most important lesson is kindness and goodness, because that's what the Gunaligo is all about. And when I hear the voices of the people, I know their spirit is hurting. And so this is what we were taught, to always sada hunsada, to listen, pick up our ears and listen. And it was with such sadness I see so many people carrying a lot of pain. And I'm glad what we're going to be doing is putting this fire, bringing back this fire. This fire was had done its job, had destroyed a lot of relationships, and this fire had caused a lot of destruction to the land. This fire has, and it's a warning, it's a sign. And because we're having so many fires, it's time for us to be humble. It's time for us to listen because nature is talking to us. And so we need to bring that other love, the love of of kindness and goodness again, because there is so much um, fires of hurting one another by their words, by their eyes, body language. And so our Mother, the Earth, is telling us we have to stop. Because if we look around, this is how much damage we do to our children. We do a lot of damage to everyone that we encounter. So when I see this fire coming on both sides of the world of Turtle Island, that I'm listening to nature. Nature is telling us to be humble, you know, create that other fire. And that's why I've asked for this time to be part of your evening tonight. I wanted to share with you how we can bring that fire back, that fire of kindness and goodness. And so I'm asking for your help. I'm asking you to be a part of this
this amazing gift that was given to us a long time ago, and that is the friendship belt. I'm calling upon all of us, no matter what color, nation, what we are, what how old we are. I'm asking everyone to come and gather. Right now we have a sacred fire going, and it's very important for many people. And the fire is not just for one set of people. This fire is for all. The frontline workers. So this fire is happening at throughout southern Ontario. It's connected with the health profession, because we need to also think of them too. They're having a heavy load because of all the things that's happening in our world, all this, as they call, mental illness. When in reality, it's just that call for spirituality. That's what it is. It's a call for spirituality. And people are not understanding. People are not understanding, so they feel, the earth wants us to change that fire that we have in us. Don't let it be a fire of destruction. Because, if you look around, look how much disease there is. And, I was asked by I was visiting a private school, and they were a science group. And they asked me, Grandma, what's the worst disease that you ever would come across? And I didn't hesitate right off. I said, the disease of anger. It's amazing what anger can do. And it starts at a very young age. And because of that, they told us that this fire that was going to destroy was also going to burn out. And by this, what we're able to talk about is this opportunity of many of us coming together. We have had many ceremonies, and it's so nice to have many different nationalities coming. We had the healing garden. We're going to be building more gardens, because the people, this is what we are gathering up, is like-minded people to create that new fire. I have that little piece. You have that little piece. Every one of us has that little piece. It's like putting that log on that fire to keep that darkness away from us, the sadness and the grief. And also, the purpose of that fire, the purpose of a sacred fire. The two medicines that always was here was fire and water since the time of creation. And the fire knows its job. And for the longest time, it did its job for all of us. But the people have forgotten about that purpose of that fire, because it's been banned in many communities. We cannot build a fire in our backyard anymore, because people have forgotten how to have a fire. A fire was to help us in our grieving. Fire was to help us to release a lot of that heaviness that we face every day. And so this is why people, when they get the weekend, where do they go? They go and up to the campsite, and they put down their as they say, wishes for a campfire. And so, as soon as that fire is lit, everyone gathers. And there's a different feeling when you're around that fire. That feeling of warmth and security and belonging. No matter who you are, that fire has done its job. And that fire brings out, that takes away all that negativity that you have accumulated over the time. And so it makes you feel so good that it wraps you with lots of love. That's what its job. And when you try to move away from the fire, you move this way and you move that way, that smoke still follows you. And people would say, oh, I got to sit over on the other side. But that fire will follow you, because it needs to get rid of the more sadness that you're carrying. And so that fire will work on you. And so that's my cologne is smoke. I love that, because it lets me know that I've been taken care of. And it's just like mother's love, a memory. And so when I smell that smoke, I know many of you have that memory of a smoke. And I know that that smoke has given us reminding us how to take care of ourselves. And you're standing in front of the fire, you're going like this because you're taking off all that negativity that you may have encountered your front part of your body. And so your body now intuitively knows how to as they say, how to it says turn around. So what do you do when you're standing in front of a fire? You turn around. Now you work on your back. And so the fire takes care of, robs all that off of you. And so now you can sit down and have a nice evening, nice time together. And it brings out so much love into you. It helps you when you're grieving, because this is what we would have for people that have lost a loved one or are in need of a prayer. And so we have created this, the people have created a sacred fire. And it's happening at different places throughout this week. It's in concern with the hospitals. Many, we're having a lot of challenges on both sides now, because the hospitals are overworked. And even when you're overworked, you make decisions, and also there's also racism. Of the mental illness. And so we have to think about those things. We have to, we're going to burn this fire for everyone to restore that gift back into them, because everyone that chooses to be a doctor wants to take care and help heal. So let's have this fire to help heal them, because they've been carrying a lot, to be exposed to death and all that pain all the time. It takes a lot of toll on you. But, this is why those fires are going to be taking place. And the first fire was today, and it was in Welland. It was on 65 3rd Ave. So I was busy outside, but I took that time and put my mind, put my body into that place of sending off my prayers to that fire, to the people and to the community. No matter who they are, I send off love, the fire of love and kindness and goodness, so that we can build back that relationship and create this, as they say, the next world that we are to be. And so the next fire that's tomorrow, and they're from 10 till 2. This one is Niagara Falls. It's at 5546 Portage Road. And so, I'm going to need a helicopter to go to all these places. But I thought, well, I'm going to just stand outside and I'm going to be present at that very moment and that's what you can do. That's why the wind comes. And it was pretty windy today in my area. So I know my prayers were taken and they were put there into the fire. And so I want to say thank you to the winds that came today. And so for Wednesday, on Solidarity Day, it's going to be held at St. Catherine's. And this is 1200 4th Ave. And so, and a good friend of mine, Jackie Labonte, is going to be sharing some teachings there. So if you're available in any of those areas, just drop by. And the other one on Thursday is going to be in Port Colborne. Isn't that nice? It's right around where the water is. So the water and the fire, again, are working together. And so that one is going to be on 260 Sugarloaf Street. So hope to have many out there. I intend to get to some of them. And then on Friday, we're having the Sacred Fire at Fort Erie. And this is 230 Burton Street. So this is an opportunity of all of us coming together. So I'm asking for all of us is to build that new fire of love and kindness and forgiveness. And so this fire can create a better world for all of us. And so when we do that, it's medicine for ourselves. It's medicine. Because when we do something for the betterment of all, it's such a good feeling. And so you can imagine spirituality is such a good feeling. Spirituality is just smiling and sending off love. Spirituality is not very strict. It is very loving and very kind. And so this is to all of you. Let's get that fire that we have inside of us. Let's put that fire to good use. And that is to send, even like that, you send off fire. And, all the little ones, they understand that. You even see the little ones that go. And so that is a gift of that fire. And so when you do that, all creation is benefiting by it. So, and maybe we continue to have this fire every so often. We have it when our moon ceremonies because it plays a very important role in our relationships. And so this is what ceremony is all about, just gratitude and thinking of others in a good way. And so we're also going to pray for those in leadership. We're also going to pray for those that are homeless. We're also, all those things, we have power. Working with the universe, we have much more power than you think we have. We can overcome a lot of things. And that is our voices and our hearts together. And so I ask the ladies to share, what fire have you been burning for the community? Pamela.
Well, Grandma Renee, I'll send you some fire first. Let's see. Burning fire for the community. Well, what brings to mind is Saturday, I went to Fort York for the men's powwow, and I volunteered there for not only the corporation that I work for, but to help, because the powwow was to raise money for men's homelessness. And there was a fantastic turnout. I think they said 10 to 15,000 people came, and it was massive. It was in the park area of Fort York, and I have to say it was really meaningful and special for me to be there. I've never been to a powwow at Fort York, and I was really 100% present, and I was thinking about my Cedar sisters while I was there, and I met a very interesting and very nice young man by the name of, I wrote down his name, Jay Sewell, who has a t-shirt company called Chippewa, and I saw this, and it spoke to me.
Oh.
And I bought it, thinking of my Cedar sisters, and I'm wearing it proudly tonight because it makes me think of you beautiful, lovely women. And so it was a really amazing day, and I'm really glad that I went, and I made some new friends and some contacts, and really enjoyed myself, and participated in the all tribal dances. And my daughter came, and she helped volunteer, so we had such a wonderful time together. So in that way, Grandma Renee, you mentioned people that are homeless and people who are struggling. And in my extremely small way, I wanted to be there to help and to support and be there. And, I'm really grateful to work for my company, and they recognize that I'm here to help and I'm here to volunteer in any way that I can. So I did that. Something else that I'm doing is, again, I'm really, really grateful. And speaking of strawberries and this time of growing strawberries, my community, which is the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte, Tyendinaga, they're having a fun strawberry social on Friday. So I'm going, and it was just, again, I think meant to be, because, spreading love in the fire. I'm, taking my mother on a trip, and she's 86, and she really wanted to go to Tyendinaga and spend some time in the community. So I booked a trip, just the two of us, to go there for a week. And I said, "Oh, Mom, would you like to go to the strawberry social as well?" And she said, "Oh, I would love to." So we're going on Friday. So we extended our trip. And then I invited my cousins who live in the area. And you know what? They're all coming. So I think you're right. Well, I know you're right. Sometimes you just have to put it out there and extend the fire, extend the invitation, extend the love. And people will reply and people will say, I'd love to come. So I'm really, really happy and very excited that we're having this strawberry social, and it's an opportunity to get together with my cousins and my family and our in our territory. So it's really meaningful to me. So this is really like you said, like if you make your intentions out there, they'll come back to you. It can happen. So yeah, I wanted to reconnect and become more involved with the community, and my wishes come true. So I'm really, really happy this week and grateful. So thank you, Grandma Renee.
Thank you. That's beautiful. So where in Niagra?
So it's at the community center on York Street, 1807 York.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah, so that's where they're hosting it. So it's the office there, and they're going to be having soup. I'm imagining it's Three Sisters soup and strawberries and ice cream, and it sounds really delicious and fun. So that's where it's going to be located.
Well, dust off your moccasins.
Absolutely.
Because you'll create that good fire. Because when we go dancing, when we're in that process of dancing, our energy goes up in that fire that you can feel that love from just. And that's the most beautiful way, because when we dance, we're thanking our mother, the earth, and that's what we need to do more of. So thank you, Pamela. So I'll just have to put on some tunes or find a strawberry social so I can dance too.
Yes, and I'll be thinking about my my Cedar sisters. Absolutely.
So, thank you. So Jen, let's hear of your journey.
Hi everybody. Hi Grandma Renee. The fire that has been lit inside me is to walk for the water. So this past weekend, I was honored to walk in the Credit River Water Walk, following the teachings of Josephine Mandaman Ba, our first Earth Mother water walker. And a number of women that had walked with her led this group, and some women from the Grand River Water Walk came and helped lead the group through our first weekend water walk. And I joined this group in March. I'd met these women through 101 Duwagan Project, and Jody introduced them to me. And for a number of years now, I've known about Josephine for many years, Josephine Ba, and always in my dream of dreams thought one day I could be a water walker, but I did not imagine that it would happen by the Credit River, nor did I imagine that it would happen this quickly. So I had always, I'd written it in a book in one of my journals, and then I covered it up because I thought, oh, I don't think it's going to happen. And I had written Nibi Emosadong, which is water walker, partly because last year in our school board, we renamed a school after Nibi Emosadong, and I helped open that school in the ceremony, singing the songs and all those kinds of things. And then I had just let it to rest, and now here it is. So that was really serendipitous. And I think, again, coming back to putting those intentions out and being in alignment, having the time and everything being open, I've been able to go to water ceremony with these women once a month. And we'll be ceremonying for the water every month in Norval, which is just south of Georgetown. And it's along the Credit River, along Silver Creek. And we ceremony on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Once a month. And we'll continue to do that for the next 3 years. As this year, we walked from Island Lake in Orangeville, the headwaters of the Credit, and we carried Nibi to Lake Ontario. And we finished that one side, the one leg of that walk. Next year, we'll walk back up. And then the year after, we'll walk back down and then back up. So this is a 4-year commitment. And I'm so grateful that this has entered my life. And I walked all 3 days. I was not a core water walker at first. Originally, I thought maybe one day I could be. On Sunday, I did carry Nabi, and I carried the Eagle staff with a partner, a sister who has done many water walks with the Grand River, and she, her and I, she mentored me a little bit, and I was a community walker on Friday and Saturday, and helping to support and bring in community members who wanted to walk and kind of orient them to the protocols and get them, going, and which side do we walk on. And there was a few, different things that we had to do. And so I just wanted to help in any way I could. And so when I did get to walk and carry Nabi in this leapfrog style, and I never really understood how the water walk worked. And so now I understand, and so it's even more powerful than before. Like, we literally carried her from 3 a.m. until about 10 or 11 a.m. and honestly felt like no time had gone by sometimes. I couldn't believe it had been that long. And also to walk from the complete darkness into the sunrise and then a little bit longer. What a way to welcome in the day and to experience the power of Mishomis Jesus. And my partner and I would constantly sing, as I think that's the tradition of many women, is to always sing. The water walker is always singing. So we were singing the Nabi song. And at one point we were singing the Cherokee Morning Song, and the birds were really singing just when, the sun was coming up. And just feeling the power of the water, as people had talked about it before, and I wasn't really sure what would happen when I was carrying her. And sometimes it was just like a regular walking. When I walked over the 407 with her, I had a really hard time singing, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. And when I debriefed with my partner, who was carrying the Eagle staff, she had said, we talked about the idea that the water feels like it's choking, right? And she's sending us that message. She's suffocating, right? When we went over that big highway, when we would walk in other areas, it would feel so different. And that's just that power of connection and also listening to the water. And I really felt like, I think Nabi is taken so much for granted. And I think that's why, as women, we can relate to her. Honestly, I really relate to her in that way of sometimes I think our work is overlooked. And as a woman in the world, I feel sometimes our contributions and the things that we do, like mothering, are taken for granted, to be honest. And we don't get the gratitude that we deserve. And also, one of the things I don't like to do is leave the tap running to wait for it to get hot. It drives me insane. And I thought I was alone. And then that's one of the things that Grandmother Marianne talked about. And that's when I thought, people take her for granted. They just run her like she can be wasted. It's like when the kids don't pick their socks up. They think, it's not my place to pick up the socks. I have important work to do. And so does Nabi. She doesn't need to go down the drain and come out again and wait for you to get hot water. Like, figure it out. There's you need to honor her. And I thought that is why sometimes I guess I just, that really came to me on the weekend. And so all that to say that is the fire, I guess, that's been happening. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. So miigwech.
Yeah, miigwech. I remember walking with Josephine and I went rushing to be with her, to walk with her. And I had my granddaughter drive my truck, and I forgot to change my flip-flops. And I walked a long distance and my feet weren't even sore. It was amazing, the power and to carry that staff, because there wasn't enough men there. And I carried it for my nephew who has passed on, but he was very he had so much love in his heart, and everybody knew of him, and he shared his love with everyone and anyone. And so when I carried that staff when I was walking, it just seemed like the time was amazing, and my feet, I wasn't even tired. It was just like I walked for right up till when we finished that, from early afternoon, morning, and right till we finished that day. And that's how amazing I felt. And I understand um, this fire, that passion for that water, the passion that we have for creation, the passion we have for the birds, the passion we have for and this is what we need to bring back to our children, and give them that understanding that materialistic things is just, it's not a filler, like being with nature and seeing the magic of her, and hearing you women speak is I'm so grateful we were able to do those ceremonies a long time ago, and we never give up, because look at, here you are, you're enjoying the best times of your life with things that was forbidden, and here you are. So Jody, let's hear about your fire.
I'm sitting here going, do I tell this story? I feel so full and excited. I'm going to let Lisa and Angela in the room because they are here right now. So I think they've been listening in the background. But Nyawa, for sharing all of that, Jen and Pamela, like it's so amazing and exciting. Not that I'm any further ahead or whatever in my journey, but I know, Pamela, this is, pretty, new for you, and some of the, what you're doing. And Jen, you've been talking about this, water walkers, and it's just amazing getting to know everyone and their passions. And so for me, my passion has been grandmother's voice for several years, and I've had this vision of putting in this time. It was at the beginning of this, Renee, and I know you'll remember this, but it was this strong message when we traveled to Palenque in Mexico. And it was like, it's time. There's going to be a time, and it's only going to be a small window. And it'll be like head down barrel, like you're doing it. And I'm grateful that my family, has honored me in this time to do this. I feel like I have so much to say, but I remember at the beginning when I first met Renee and Gail, I walked in on one of my visits, just getting to know that Renee. I don't even think I knew Renee was my relative yet. And I was in Gail's ancestral voices, and I was just standing there in awe, in the medicine, in the space, and the love that was happening, and the interaction. And all of a sudden, Josephine walked in, like shoeless, and with, two women beside her and her staff. And I was just like, my whole body just opened. I was just like, I think I even started crying, because I knew that I was in the presence of something. And like you, Jen, it was just like this, like and then I heard the conversation about who she was, and I was in awe, that, later on to find out who she was. And in that moment, I just knew that I was in sacredness, someone who had this purpose to share with people. So, my fire is a couple of things today. I decided just yesterday, I had been seeing this orange theory. I needed some support in the last little bit. And so I know that I've always loved just moving and exercising. And in the last 5 years, I had a situation with one of my lungs. And so I realized that I had created this fear around being able to do what I used to do, and from an exercise and way, whatever that is. And so late yesterday afternoon, I called this orange theory. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's like a circuit training. And I called them last minute, yesterday and said I'd like to get in, and so I did. And so this was my fire today, Renee, because you had talked to me yesterday, I think, about this, doing it live and talking to me about the sacred fires, and so so this was my fire today. I don't know if you can see it. Wait. Oh. Woohoo! I burned 459 calories. It was so good. But what I did after is, and I work a lot trying to do this business, and just elevating each other and lifting each other up, Jen, like you sang today. And today was a really important, like a really great day. So right after that, I drove to Country Heritage Park, which is where grandmother Renee designed the longhouse design garden. That's like a 60 by 20 that has, I know, changed so many people. So many people I know that have like visited this garden for wellness, for healing. And I went there today to see the abundance. The strawberries were so beautiful and delicious. I just sat in the garden and picked them, and I spent time in there and thought of people, that I've moved on, and I just stayed in the gratitude and harvested some sage and sweetgrass and the seedlings, the tobacco seedlings, because on Wednesday we're having an event for National Indigenous Peoples Day in Oakville at the Drive-In 5 Drive-In. And so I felt like I needed to bring the medicines that we've been nurturing at this garden to the community at the drive-in. So if anyone's watching, you can go to our social media, and for Indigenous community members, there's free tickets for a full carload. Stick as many people as you can in your car. And the trunks, where we're going to go. And there's free food. We got a spot. RBC has sponsored our food. And there's popcorn and pop and movie and culture, and the 101 Dewagons will be there. And this medicine that our community has nurtured for, now it's going on, I think this is going on our third year. Mm-hmm. And we've been growing, and the abundance in that garden is showing me that, what we're doing is good work. Mm-hmm. And it's good medicine for us in this time. So Nyawa for listening and sharing. And so I'm excited to see Lisa and Angela, and we've been talking about just what you're doing in community. And whoever'd like to go first, Lisa.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Green from Six Nations, Mohawk Turtle Clan. So I was trying to listen to you while I was driving, trying to stay connected and hear what you were all saying. But I wanted to mention about the water walk. I did a water walk. I think it was back maybe 5-6 years ago. Jessica and I did one around the Arborfront. I think that was maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. Jess did the whole thing. Anyways, I didn't do the whole thing, but Jessie did the whole thing, and she was probably only about 8 at the time, 8 or 9, but she got to carry the water too. And also I wanted to talk about, I had the privilege or the opportunity to carry the Mississippi water to South Dakota and have water ceremony with them, the Dakotas out there, which was very, very special. Yeah. I don't know. I'll just let Angela speak because I'm still trying to settle in here and think about what I want to talk about. Go ahead, Angela.
She looks frozen. because I know she moves. Oh, there she is. She just smiled a bit more. Oh, I don't know. Is she? I don't have my glasses on. Oh, there she is.
I'm having internet issues for some reason. Tots, everyone. I'm Angela de Montenay, Creamy Tea Nation. My spirit name is She Who Walks with Honor. I have a Black Panther warrior and a White Thunderbird spirit. And I'm so glad that we got to meet before the solstice. It's one of my favorite times, and I think a really powerful one, especially this year. Sad that I'm not able to do a sacred fire ceremony. It just didn't seem to work out. So, but I'm at a place now where, you know, if things don't materialize or happen, that it's okay, because for whatever reason, I guess it's not meant to on my end anyways. My fires right now are similar to Jody, in that I'm doing things that bring me great joy and are for my health and my mental health. So I don't go to Orange Theory, but I do Zumba. So dancing is my thing. So I do that. Like I did that this morning at 9 a.m. about 3 or 4 times a week. And it's funny, you know, when I'm in the class, I've been doing it for about 10 years. And I am just like probably one of the only people in a class of 20 or 30 sometimes. And I'm just like grinning ear to ear. I'm sure it's pretty funny, but it just really makes me happy, just dancing and moving. And yeah, and you need to move, because we lead pretty sedentary lives for the most part, and having that strength. And you know, I kind of lost it for a little while during the pandemic, and so it's just knowing that you're strong and you're fit and you can feel your muscles and it helps clear your mind so much. You're just dancing and you're not focusing on problems or anything like that. It's really fun. And the other thing is my fire is ceremony and wanting to build something with all of you so that I'm not doing it by myself, because I think we need each other. We need to support each other. It's very difficult for me. I mean, I did it for the first time on my own for the solstice last summer, just because I felt, you know, this real burning fire inside me that I needed to do that. And people came from, you know, it was a small group, about 15 people, and they came from all over in Toronto and wherever. And Grandmother Renee, Michelle Elise came and did some movement with everybody, which was awesome. But you know, if you don't have a fire keeper and you don't have someone to sing, and you're smoking the pipe, and these are all people who are new to this, it was pretty challenging doing that all by myself. So and I don't have a space on the land on my own where I can do this, so I have to sort of find people who, you know, are wanting to do that or have the ability to have people come and hold a sacred fire on the land. So hoping that will manifest, and that we can do that together on a regular basis, because it's something that I miss terribly, and people need it. And I know that people who have never experienced a sacred fire before, when they do come to it, it can be life-changing for them. So I really, putting that out there, that I would really like to participate in, you know, how we can coordinate this so that we can do this together, support each other, and I'll go and help someone else's fire, and how we can do that. Hi.
Perfect. That's what we need to hear is, you know, anytime anybody needs a call, all you have to do is call and say, I need a fire. And it's, you know, it's for the community, it's for frontline workers, it's for those that forgot that, you know, we do answer to that call. And sometimes Even at a very moment when we hear of a sacred fire, we do that automatically. We put our hand over our hearts, and that's where that sacred fire starts. And so when we have it over our hearts, we think of all those that have requested that fire, and then we pull it and we put it out and we open our hands, and there is that fire coming from our hands, that warmth and kindness to all. And so the wind comes and it takes it. So we're never without as a access to a fire, to that sacred fire. And so even by doing our hands together, we're bringing that fire up. And even for ceremonies, you're using that fire, the fire of love, and the fire of most of us, we have to say fire of forgiveness, because a lot of times we forget. Sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. We need to learn how to forgive ourselves. And so this is what everyone is looking for. How do I do this? And it's very simple. What the Creator gave us was the fire. He put in us this gift, fire. And so this fire is, they says, where's God when I need him? Well, look at your hands. It's right there. That energy that flows from your hands is that fire. So you notice when you put your hand on someone's, when they're going through grieving, you put your hand on their back, because this time you can't talk. Well, that's the reason why, is that you're giving them that fire back. Because when we are grieving, we cannot, there's a veil over us. And so we cannot see, we cannot hear, we cannot smell, we cannot taste. We're choked up here. And so when that fire comes, we have to bring that warmth and kindness again. And so we were very fortunate that many of our, as they say, the stubborn old ones, they kept this for us, so that we were doing it again today. And that's what we were told many years ago, that we have to get ready. And I never thought it would happen so fast, that we were to get ready, because we are here to support the continuation of life. At this very moment, we have a choice. They call it predictions. Well, we can make change. They said when the trees die at the top, when there's a lot of fires, we can stop this. But it's when we all come together and put our hearts in that moment of, people, our minds, they're can't think, and they're worried, and so us that have that fire, we can hold that fire for them till they're able to, that fire takes away. Remember how I said that grief that they carry? And so we have that opportunity, is to do that at any second. So you're never without a sacred fire. Just automatically, when you hear somebody needs a fire, you go to your heart. You go to your heart and you think of you start that fire up in that fire, and then you bring it out just like that. And you give that fire to all those that are in need. So at this time, we're going to do that. We're going to bring up our sacred fire at this very moment, and we're going to put it over our hearts. Take some deep breath, bring that warmth up of kindness and forgiveness and all that love. And we're going to feel so good. Take another breath. Because we're bringing up our own fire, this fire. And we get warm feelings by doing this. And it is the magic that we all hold, and we don't realize the magic of our fire. And so we put up our hands, open up our hands, and we go, so that fire comes and takes care of someone that needs that fire. How many have felt, a shiver or a goose pimple pops up? It's someone that has sent their fire to help you. And so as women, that's our duty, to teach our children. All this fear they have today, it's man-made fear. Grandmas know. They said, come on now. We've been through it. Let's get together. Let's warm up our fire and give it back. Let's give our fire. And so I have the internet too that kind of flicks off and off. So I guess I have too much fire. So I'm turning it over to anyone else that wants to share what their grandmother had taught them.
I think Lisa, you said that you'd like to share something with us. Would you like to share with us? You always have some good little.
I was just thinking about trying to think. There's been so many things that are rekindling my fire in the last little bit. Like I got to travel with the grandmothers to Illinois, and I got to go up to the Shohoki mounds there and had some visions, which is just clarifying like the stuff that I guess already know, remembering. I got to do ceremony with the Mamos, the Columbia people, and they did a little ceremony with us to clear that negative energy and stuff. And then I was just thinking about we started this group of healers, helpers, light workers, probably about 8 weeks ago now, I guess. We do it on Wednesdays, and we one person takes a turn each week, and we provide distant healing to that person. So they tell us a little bit maybe what's wrong with them, and the help that they need. And so why we started this is to practice our distant healing. I wanted to do it because I just wanted to practice so I had more confidence and stuff like that. And it's amazing. And so that's really been boosting my confidence and stuff up. So that's feeding my fire. But I guess what I would like to do is just about every week we do a little fit session. And so I would like to continue to do that and do a fit session. So I'd like everybody to make sure their feet are flat on the floor so they're grounded. And then I just want people to vision, that their feet are like tree stumps and they're going all the way to the center of Mother Earth. And you're going to bring that pure energy up into your body from Mother Earth. So seeing it come into your feet and your legs and up your thighs and into your pelvis and into your stomach and into your chest and all the way up to into your throat and down your shoulders and your arms and into your hands and fingers, and then continuing to come up into your head. And so closing your eyes, and I just want you to put your right hand on your chest, on your bundle, and then put your left hand on top of your right hand. And so I just want you to see in your bundle, what came to me is to awaken understanding. And so I want you to see that one cell in your bundle that holds the energy of understanding, and see it in this pure whiteness. And it's awakened. And so you see that one cell, excuse me. And so that cell, it's awakened. You can see that beaming pure light, and it's going to come to the front of your chest. And as it does that, it awakens up all the cells that create your chest, your heart, your lungs. And so all that is in pure whiteness. And what we're awakening is understanding. So Creator's definition of understanding. I just want you to take a deep breath. And every time you breathe in, you're bringing in more understanding, more of Creator's understanding. And every time you exhale, you're releasing and you're letting go all that does not serve you anymore. So now that energy of understanding, that pure whiteness, the light, is now going to travel into your throat. So all the cells are being awakening, so you can see your entire throat in this pure whiteness. And all the cells in your throat remember what it's like to understand. And the light continues to go and filling your head up, especially your brain, seeing your brain in this pure whiteness as understanding is being awakened. And every cell in your brain remembers what it's like to understand. And now the energy is going to flow from your chest area to the back of your neck and to your shoulders. Seeing that pure white light in this area, and now traveling down your arms and into your hands and fingers. And now this area, this portion of your body is awakened, and every cell in this area remembers what it's like to understand. Now the energy is going to flow from your chest area to your upper back, and now into your mid back, and now into your lower back. So your entire back now is in this pure white energy of understanding. Every single cell here remembers what it's like to understand. Now the energy is going to flow from your chest area down into your stomach, seeing all your organs that are housed here in pure whiteness as all the cells awaken to understanding. Every single cell here in the stomach remembers what it's like to understand. Now the energy flows into your pelvis, awakening all the cells that make up our uterus and all of our sexual organs, our bladder, pancreas, everything that's housed in this area. It's in pure whiteness, and every cell here remembers what it's like to have understanding. Now the energy continues to flow into your thighs and over your knees and down into your feet and toes. And every cell in the lower half of your body is awakened and remembers what it's like to understand. So now I just want you to scan your body and see your whole entire body in this pure whiteness of understanding. And just notice what's going on in your body. Maybe you might have had some aches and pains in some part of your body, and now that may be released because now you understand. Or maybe some information is coming to you that's helping you understand or giving you some message on what to do if any part of your body is in any kind of pain. And so all the cells have that understanding. And when you're ready, you can come back and you can open your eyes. Who would like to share? What happened?
That one was very powerful, Lisa. And
Yeah.
It made me think of, I told Jody this in a conversation today, and when you were talking about distance healing, which I've been able to participate in, over the years, how powerful it is, and that kind of exercise that you just did right now. I'm putting it out there that I have a friend who has just been diagnosed with colon cancer, who's in his mid-50s and just had surgery last week. That I asked him to visualize, those negative cancer cells leaving his body, but what you're doing would work even better. So I don't know how you guys are going about doing that, but if I could put his name forward the next time that you meet, if you could include him in your healing somehow, I'd really appreciate it.
So that's I want to talk a little bit about energy. So this is how quickly it can happen. Like when we do these distant healings and stuff like that. So can we just are you able to like give his name or his first name?
Yeah. His name is Dove Goldstein.
Okay, so we can just all as a collective send him much love to that area, even like the colon.
Mm-hmm. And there was a spot on his liver as well.
And so we just visualize sending that in those areas. Because it doesn't matter where we are in any part of the world, it's energy and it's our intention. And so that energy goes boom, like that, right to that person. And I'm sure maybe if you connect with him later on this evening, he might even tell you that he felt some things.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's still in the hospital, but I will try and get that message.
Okay. Thank you.
And thank you to that little birdie that's singing in someone's background. Amazing. Yeah, Lisa, I traveled through my body, as you brought, that awareness, that intention, and, visualizing. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do ceremony, with the grandmas when we traveled. It came up today actually, and I mentioned it earlier too about when we traveled to Palenque, and we got to go to these sacred sites that were not visited, by mainstream, and we canoed into one of the islands, and it was just so powerful because you had to be in your body, in your cells, to do those kinds of things, to be present. And I can't remember exactly when you shared this, Renee, but it totally resonates with me. And especially lately, just these conversations around the water. And if you notice my water bottle, my family makes fun of me because my preference is to drink it like this, and or in mason jars or whatever. But I remember you saying in a conversation once about drinking your water in clear bottles, so that, Jen, that we don't take advantage of it, and we're not just guzzling it back. We see it when we drink it in these bottles that we have right now in this mainstream, these metal containers and everything. And, you're not really able to see her beauty and value in that. And so, yeah, I'm grateful for the conversation, because it just connects me to all of the layers of my body and my being. And I'm grateful for this circle today. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all tending our fire, as they say. It's that fire of compassion, and it just mellows us right out. We've worked on ourselves as we worked on others, and it's amazing how my fire is, it's like that slow, just going, that fire, and that's what I was feeling. And I'm grateful to have like-minded people, because, we can, as they say, remove that fire of doubt, of those negativities, by us doing just this. Our grandmothers, a long time ago, they knew the power of their minds, and that's why we always refer to it, having a good mind. we forgot how to have that good mind to accomplish the things that we can do. We were all healers, but we always have to have that good mind, and that comes from that fire from here within us. So I'm so grateful that we have the freedom now to gather like this as women, and we can share these things, how to help other people, and to renew people as the power that they have within them. And a lot of times I always like to say, get off the fence. Don't be afraid. Be a bungee jumper. It's amazing. It's amazing. As it all you have to start is 3 steps. Say thank you, thank you, thank you. Just go on that on a regular basis. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you, and go throughout the day, and you'll get that magic power that the Creator give us. He gave us that gift of sharing that fire, that original fire of love. And so to all those doctors and nurses and the surgeons, the interns, the ambulance driver, and to all the patients that are there, we send off, as they say, we send off much love and kindness to your heart and to your spirit, so that you know that what has happened tonight is we're adding to the fires of each day. And we will continue to do this every so often to help our people to create a better world. And so thank you, ladies. It is a magic night. And thank to the bird that was singing those songs, because it really took me back. So I turn it over to anyone else who would like to share.
Would anyone like to share an experience with that meditation, or would you like to go into sharing events that are coming up? I know there's quite a few things that we could talk about and share before we say see ya and go rest now. We're good? Wonderful. So, this week is we're celebrating National Indigenous Peoples Day on Wednesday. Summer solstice. We celebrate that day because we're here, and we weren't supposed to be. But there's still a lot of people that suffer. It's a lot of our people that suffer. And so it's really important to know that this day is a day of awareness, celebration, but also knowing that, we have that opportunity and that time to stand up in any way that we can to make change, for the wellness of the people. And so there's a lot going on in many communities. So those of you watching here, and if you're not close to where we'll be in Oakville, I'm sure you can find an event near you or ceremony. So please look in your local areas. And for those of you who are close enough to us, we are going to be at a drive-in theater. And it's set up to be a really fun evening with some grassroots groups and people sharing their arts and their love, and then we also have some directors coming in. The feature film is The Beehive, and so they're actually the directors and actors are coming, and there'll be a Q&A. And the 101 Dewagons, Jackie and Oliver, will be there to share their project, and then also the short film that they've created to get their project out there. And so, again, for those of you who are Indigenous, you can go on their QR code, and there's some free tickets for you to come, full car. As well, on Saturday at Country Heritage Park, there's the Pride celebration. And that sounds like it's going to be wonderful. So go check that out as well. You can see that on PFLAG, Halton Black Voices, Country Heritage Park. I believe there's some things happening in Burlington as well on National Indigenous Peoples Day down at the waterfront there. So, just this theme tonight is supporting each other, holding each other up, supporting each other's communities, and like you said, Angela, like we can't do this work alone. Joining other people doesn't mean you have to give up what you believe in. It just means that you give to other people so that you can, they can come and help you too. And this is a time of sharing and caring and, supporting each other, a time that we need to return to. Nyawa,
Yes.
Renee, for kind of giving us the nudge.
Yeah, that's what the grandma's duty is to put a little fire under us to get us motivated and to use our power, is to use that power. And don't be afraid to use that power of wishing other people wellness. Yes, that's our duty as healers. Every one of us is a healer, and that's that fire of. That's what the Creator gave us. The first language. That's what I tell everybody. The first language of all nation was a language of love, because the Creator created us, and He created everything to take care of us. And so many have forgotten. So we're just here to put back love, that good feeling in all, and especially to our Mother the Earth. I like how you mentioned dancing. I'm going to be dancing this. I'm always dancing. I love to dance, and that's what my grandma taught me. She said, anytime you're down, just put on that tune, and it'll change you, and you become well again. And so that's what I always so grateful for. And to all the grandmothers, and to all the aunties, and to all the mothers, and to all our men, may we always be that place of knowing and giving and receiving love that the Creator had planned for all of us. So take care, ladies. And I enjoyed this evening. I was so tired, but now you got my flame back up again, and there's more to do now. So take care and enjoy this week of ceremonies. Every week is a ceremony, and so it's just us that are a fire, a candle in the window that brings the people out of the darkness into understanding. And so let your love shine, as they say. I think there's a song, isn't there? Let your love shine. So for me, I'm very grateful. Thank you ladies for being a part of the team of wellness. And we send it all out to all those that are needing that right now. And to all, every time you attend a fire, go and get yourself taken care of. That fire is a representation of self-care. And so take care of yourself, and we'll see you on the trail, wherever.